I will be giving an introduction to a Clojure library called Clojask. Clojask is a dataset processing framework in Clojure. It supports datasets larger than memory, and it can automatically parallelize the computation process. Clojask is comparable to Dask in Python, but has better performance on larger datasets. You can find the benchmarks here and other features as well in the README file. Let's first learn how to import it into your existing project. Clojask currently supports macOS and Linux systems, and the Clojure environment should be installed based on Java 8 to 11. Now let's create a new LineEngine project called Clojask Demo. And we also need to modify the project.clj file to include Clojask as one dependency, so we should copy this line of code and paste it to the end of the dependencies vector, like this. Then, to verify our installation, we should create a new line repo and require the new library, like this. After the repo server has started successfully, we can require Clojask using the require function like this, and we will name it as ck. Then we can use ck/dataframe to initialize the Clojask data frame based on a dataset file. And the file we have here is relatively small for illustration purpose. And since this file is stored on the parent directory of the project.clj file, we should correct the path of it. And now we have initialized a new data frame called df using ck/dataframe, and we can always take a look at the first few lines of the data frame using ck/printdiff function. It will pick the first few rows of a data frame, but since this data frame is itself already small enough, we will print all of it. Alternatively, we can use the function preview to, instead of print it to the screen, it will return a vector of maps like this. And then we can also do a few operations on the data frame, obviously. So by default, all the columns has the data type string by default, but we can change the type of each column using the function ck/setType. So we will set the type of column salary to double and update date to the date data type with the parsing string like this. And then we can take a look at the resultant data frame like this. And now what we want to do is we want to add a handler to Bob only and store the new salary in this new column. And we will need to use the ck/operate function. Using this function, we can apply a function to a few columns. So we are now applying this function with two arguments to column employee name and also salary, and we'll store the result to the new salary column. And after printing the new data frame, we will find that the new salary has the same value as salary except for Bob. And actually all of the operations will be applied lazily to the data frame. So actually if df is really large, the operate will not be applied to the whole data frame at once using the printf function. The computation will only be done after we have called the function ck/compute like this, and it will output the results to a destination file, in this case result.csv. And we can also select a few columns that we want to keep using the select option. Please be accurate about the column names. And then we should find the result CSV file like this. And this is all about the simple operations. Actually, Clojask also supports more advanced operations, for example, group by aggregate and even joins. Now let's also take a look at the group by and aggregation functions. We can group by a data frame by some columns. So here we will group by this df data frame by the department column. So we should do group by diff. Remember to append the alias of the library by the department column, and then we can aggregate by the salary. So we will try to find the maximum salary in each department. So the department 11 should have the maximum salary as in this case 50,000 if nothing goes wrong. And the aggregation functions are created in another namespace called clojast.api.gb aggregate. So we will also need to require this namespace as well. Alright, and then we can aggregate. Let's take a look at the API. First, we should specify the aggregation function, then the column and the new column name. So the first argument should be the data frame, and the second argument should be the aggregation function name, which is group by max, group by aggregate max, and we'll apply this function to the salary column, and the aggregated new column will be salary max. Sorry, the function name should be aggregate as a whole, right? And then when we want to take a look at data frame, we will get the result as we expected, like this. And of course we can compute data frame into the resultant file, which will be the result CSV. Nice. Okay, and that's all about the API introduction about Clojask. And if you want to learn more about Clojask, as well as learn more interesting functions introduced by the extensions, please feel free to walk around in the website and hopefully you can find our library useful and productive. Thank you.